Good morning, class. This is Mrs. Bernard teaching mathematics for JSS 2. Our today's topic is fractions, and our subtopic is ratios and fraction. What is a fraction? A fraction has been defined as a number consisting of two numerals with one numeral on top, that is the numerator, of the other, that is the denominator, as 5/6. What I'm trying to explain is that a fraction has two numerals, one on top and one below. The one on top is called the numerator and the one below is called the denominator. That is how a fraction looks like. Now that takes us to ratio. What is ratio? Ratio is a way of comparison. It allows us to compare the magnitude of two or more things that are related. In fact, ratios are of immense practical importance in our daily life. For example, 3:1, meaning ratio 3:1. That is how we write ratio. That is the symbol of ratio, the two dots in between the 3 and the 1. It is pronounced as ratio 3:1, and that is how it is being written. That takes us to the next page, which says expressing one quantity as a fraction or a ratio of another quantity. Expressing one quantity as a fraction or a ratio of another quantity. I will explain that with examples. Example 1 said express 50 kobo as a 1 fraction of 3 naira. And 2, express 50 kobo as a ratio to 3 naira. Now the solution is beneath it. The solution for number 1, as far as it is fraction, it will involve two numerals. One will be up, which is the numerator, and one will be down, which is the denominator, as you can see in the solution below. So another thing you should look at when expressing a fraction or ratio, the two numbers involved must be in the same unit. The two numbers involved must be in the same unit. In my solution, you will see that first of all, I wrote out my 50 kobo over my 3 naira. My 50 kobo is my numerator and my 3 naira is my denominator. My 50 kobo over my 3 naira. Below it, I have converted my 3 naira to kobo. I have converted my 3 naira to kobo because 100 kobo makes 1 naira. 300 kobo makes 3 naira, as we can see below. Now I have 50 kobo over 300 kobo. Take note, if you are dealing with fraction or ratio, the two numbers involved must have the same unit, meaning I am having 50 kobo now and 300 kobo. Now if you divide 50 over 300, I divided with 50. 50 in 51, 300 divided by 50 will give me 6, which gave me my answer to be 1/6. 1/6. Below it is the second question, who says express 50 kobo as a ratio to 3 naira. Now talking about ratio, if you look between 50 kobo and 3 naira, you will see our ratio sign there between it. Now my 50 kobo to my 3 naira, I'm going to change my 3 naira to kobo. I will change my 3 naira to what? Kobo, which gave me 300 kobo. meaning I am having 50 kobo, ratio 50 kobo to 300 kobo, ratio 50 kobo to 300 kobo. So you divide. I divided by 50. 50 divided by 51, and 300 divided by 50 will give you 6, which gave us our final answer to be ratio 1 to 6. Ratio 1 to 6. Now, in writing your answer, if you write ratio 6 to 1, you are automatically wrong. Ratio 6 to 1, you are wrong. It should be accordingly. Since your 50 kobo came before your 300 kobo, it means that your 1 week must come before your 6, and it will be pronounced as ratio 1 to 6. Ratio 1 to 6. The next page shows example 2. Example 2. Express 2 kg as a ratio of 50 gram. You know that my kg is kilogram and my gm is gram. Express 2 kilogram as a ratio of 50 gram. Solution. First thing, the two must be in the same unit. But you can see that in that question, we are having kilogram and we are having gram. Now, it is either you convert kilogram to gram or gram to kilogram. But the easier one is for you to convert your kilogram to gram. In my solution, you will see where I converted my 2 kilogram to gram. Now, 1 kilogram, 1000 gram make 1 kilogram. 1000 gram makes 1 kilogram, which means 2000 grams will make 2 kilograms. 2000 grams will make 2 kilograms. As you can see it, 2 brackets 1000 gram, ratio 2 times 1000 gram to 50 gram. Now 2 times 1000 will give me gram. You can see it. I have converted my 2 kilogram to gram, which gave me 2000 gram. Now, why am I writing 2000 gram first? Now, according to the question, you can see 2 kilogram before your gram. You can see 2 kilogram before your gram, meaning your 2 kilogram must come first before your 50 gram. That is how ratio works. Your 2 kilogram must come first before your 50 gram because it came first in the question. That is how I got 2000 gram to 50 gram. Now I divided by 50. 2000 divided by 50, I will get 40, and 50 divided by 50, I will get what? 1, giving us our final answer as ratio 40 to 1. Ratio 40 to 1. That takes us to another subtopic, which says sharing quantities in a given ratio. Sharing quantities in a given ratio. Now, the sharing of quantity is usually best done through the use of ratio. Yes, even our government, the way they share things is according to what? Ratio. Sharing quantities is best done through ratio. Now, I will explain that with example. Example 1 says, share 80 bags of rice between 2 people in the ratio 5 to 3. Share 80 bags of rice between 2 people in the ratio 5 to 3. Solution beneath it. The first thing you do in a cases like this, when sharing quantity in a given ratio, the first thing you do is find the total ratio. And how do you find the total ratio? By adding the ratios in the question. And the ratio we have there is 5 and 3. Ratio 5 to 3. Meaning for us to get the total ratio is going to be 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3, which will give us 8 as the total ratio. Now, after getting your total ratio, what do? You start with the sharing. And how do you start with the sharing? You can see below it, first share, which is ratio 5. First share is ratio 5. So it's going to be first share is going to be 5 over the total ratio times the 80 bags that is being shared. 5 over 8 times 80 bags. Now I divided my 8 by 8 and I divided 80 by 8. 8 divided by 8 will give me 1, and 80 divided by 8 will give me 10. Meaning I'll be having 5 times 10 up. 5 times 10 up. So when you do your 5 times 10, you will get 50 bags, which means the first person or the first share is what? 50 bags. That is for the first share. Now the other page shows us the solution for the second share. How do you get the second share? Very simple. Now the second share is of ratio 3. So it's going to be 3 over the total ratio times the 80 bags that is being shared. 3 over 8 times 80 bags. I divided by 8. I divided my 8 by 8 and I divided my 80 by 8, which gave me 3 times 10 bags. 3 times 10 bags. That is 30 bags for the second share. 30 bags for the second share. If you don't understand, listen attentively to the example 2. Example 2 says a husband shared 1,500 to his 3 wives in the ratio 2:3:5. A husband shared 1,500 to his 3 wives in the ratio 2:3:5. Find the share of each. Solution. First thing first, find the total ratio. Find the total ratio, which is 2 plus 3 plus 5 equal to 10. 2 plus 3 plus 5 equal to 10. That is total ratio. First wife. This first wife, which has ratio 2, will be 2 over 10 times 1,500. 2 over 10 times 1,500. I divided my 10 by 10 and I divided my 1,500 by 10. I divided my 10 by 10 and I divided my 1,500 by 10, which will give me 2 times 150 up. 2 times 150 up, and 2 times 150 is 300, meaning the first wife share is 300 naira. Second wife. The second wife has ratio 3. Ratio 3. So it's gonna be 3 over 10 times 1,500. 3 over 10 times 1,500. I divided my 10 by 10 and I divided my 1,500 by 10. Now take note, you cannot divide a number that is down by 10 and divide a number that is up by 8. No, it goes simultaneously. If you divide a number by 10, if you divide a number that is down by 10, you must divide a number that is up by 10. You cannot divide a number that is down by 10 and divide a number that is up by 8. It doesn't work that way. If you are dividing by 10, you must divide 1 up by 10 and you must divide 1 down by 10. That is what I did here. I divided my 10 by 10 and I divided my 1,500 by 10, which gave me 3 times 150 up. And my 3 times 150 is 450 naira. That is for the second wife. Down to the third wife. The third wife, which has ratio 5, is going to be 5 over 10 times 1,500. 5 over 10 times 1,500. I divided my 10 by 10 and I divided my 1,500 by 10, which gave me 5 times 150. 5 times 150 is equal to 750 naira. That is the share of the third wife. Now there is something I always do in mathematics. After solving a problem in mathematics, I always do to check. Below it you see to check. I want to add the shares of the 3 wives, which is 300 naira plus 450 naira plus 750 naira. When you use your calculator to do that addition, you will definitely get 1,500. And don't forget that it was 1,500 that is being shared amongst the 3 wives, which means our calculation is very correct. I hope we all understood. Any question, you can always forward your question to my WhatsApp number 08033951500. But I believe we all understand, because ratio and fraction, very simple but interesting topic. That takes us to our assignment. Our assignment for today's lesson is share the following quantities in the given ratios. Share the following quantities in the given ratios. Question 1. 60 oranges in the ratio 4:2. 60 oranges in the ratio 4:2. Question 2. Share 96 eggs in the ratio 7:9. Share 96 eggs in the ratio 7:9. Question 3. Share 100 naira in the ratio 2:3 to 5. Share 100 naira in the ratio 2:3 to 5. That is that for today's lesson. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.